Hey all, welcome back. This is me, Monica Sharma, and welcome to MS Bio Academy. And today we are going to talk about the solve problem based on the 3-point cross. So in the previous video, we have discussed the concept related to the 3-point cross. Now we are going to take one particular question which is based on this 3-point cross. Okay, so I'm going to explain you how you can solve such kind of a question, because this seems to be very difficult, but this is quite easy if you understand the concept. So what is this question is? This is a question is in Drosophila, dikete is a mutation on the chromosome 3. So they have said that there is a chromosome number 3 is there, and we know that chromosome have a homologous pair. So we are writing 2, we are drawing the 2 of them. Okay, so these are the homologous pairs and they have a genes on them. The 3 of the genes are there. One of the gene is the dikete gene, which is a dominant one. So let's make it D capital. Okay, and this is a mutation on chromosome number 3. So we'll say this is the chromosome number 3 with a dominant effect on a wing shape. So what it is doing, it is affecting the wing shape. It is lethal when homozygous. Now when it is present in a homozygous form, means DD form, then it will be a lethal, then it can kill that particular Drosophila. So we are not going to take a homozygous form, we are going to take plus over here. Plus means, plus denotes the wild type, means it is not mutated form. This gene is not mutated in the homologous pair chromosome, but one of them is the mutated form. Allele is present. The genes ebony body and the pink eye are recessive mutation on chromosome 3. So these ebony and the pink eye genes, which is again a mutation, but it is a recessive mutation, that is also present where it is present on the chromosome 3 only. So let's suppose here it is present 2 of them, so we'll mark 1 for E and P. Now since they are recessive mutations, so that means we need the 2 copies of each of them in the homologous pair, so we'll write EEPP. Right, now they have said that the flies from a dikete stock were crossed to a homozygous ebony pink flies. So they have said that we have taken a fly from a dikete stock. Okay, so that means we are going to take the parental form. Okay, so let's not take this now. So we'll take the parental form over here. One of the parent is, so let's say this is our parental 1, P1, for which I'm drawing here, and P2 I'm going to draw it here, let's suppose. Alright, so let's take it over here. 3 of the genes are present in chromosome 3, right? So one of the parent, they are saying the flies are the dikete stock, means they have a dikete phenotype, means D mutation, the dominant one is present, and we can't take the homozygous because it will be lethal then, since it is mentioned here. So we have to assume that this one will be the plus one, right? So this would be the wild, this is not mutated on the other homologous pair. Now this is not the one of the parent which is only dikete phenotype it is expressing, that means no ebony and pink will be present, so that means we can take plus plus over here, correct? All right, so this will be the first parental. Then second will be your phenotype of this will be the genotype of one of the parent. Now they have said that they were crossed to a homozygous ebony pink flies. So that means for another one which is homozygous ebony, means it should have a 2 of the alleles in both the homologous pair should be present, like for ebony also and for pink also, right? So we'll write PP, and since dikete is not present, so we'll write plus plus. So these are the 2 parents which are being crossed together. Now what you can expect, the F1 progeny will get, all the F1 progeny will be with the one particular genotype only, right? What we can see is we will get one with this combination and one with this combination. Similarly, if you are going to do it with this also, we'll going to get this combination only, correct? So okay, so we get one of the F1 generation with this particular offspring, and one we can get some of the offspring we can get with what genotype, we can get this one. Okay, so let's write it down, plus EP and plus plus plus, right? That's how we can get. So what will be the phenotype of this particular one? Phenotype is what is expressed since only the dominant gene is present, so it will be dikete, right? So this particular progeny will be dicheat. And what about this? This will be your normal wild type, okay, because not even the dominant allele is present, either the recessive form or the ebony and the pink is present only in the single form. It is not present homozygous, so it will not be expressed, right? Now what they have said that now the F1 progeny with the dicheat phenotype, now that means this one, this they have taken. So let's take this one, okay, over here. So what they did is they have taken this particular F1 progeny with a dicheat phenotype and were back crossed, okay. So back cross, we know that we are going to cross it with one of the homozygous parent, so they have back crossed to the ebony pink homozygotes, right? So they have taken ebony pink homozygous, means this one, this P2 parent they have taken. So they have plus EP, right? They have crossed with this. Now they are saying that using the result of this backcross shown in the table, diagram this cross showing the genotypes of the parents. So the parents we have already shown the genotypes over here, P1, P2, right? Similarly, we have shown for the parents of the back cross also this genotypes and the offsprings of both the crosses. So now the offsprings of this cross I have shown it here. The offsprings of this particular cross, that is the back cross, I'm going to show it in the next page. So let's draw that, right? Now here when you are going to do this particular cross, this is your F1 progeny, one of the F1 progeny with the dicheat phenotype, right? This is being back crossed with the parent, the P2 parent, all right. This we have been back crossed. So what are the genotypes of the offspring which we are going to get? Now here what will happen, now since 3 genes are involved here, I have told you in the 3 genes there is a single crossover will also take place, then there is a double crossover will also take place, and also few of the offsprings will be of just of the parental types only, even the wild types we will get, right? So we are going to get some 8 types of offsprings, right? I've told you earlier also, we always get in the 3-point cross, we always get the 8 types of offsprings. We get 8 types of offspring with different phenotypes. So what we are going to get, we are going to get one of them with the D++ / EP, okay. Then we can also get plus EP / EP, all right. This will be the genotype. Then one of the offspring we'll get with the DE+ / EP, that also we're going to get. Then we can get ++P / EP, correct. Then we're going to get D plus P / EP. I'm going to write it down just quickly, and the last one I'm going to write it down here, right? So these are the 8 offsprings we are going to get. 1 2 3 4, this one is your 5th, 6th, 7th, and this one is your 8th. Now if we are going to look at the phenotypes, what they are going to express, each individual offsprings of that. How you going to check the phenotypes? Again, I have told you, since D is present as dominant form, so this will definitely be expressed as dicheat, right? Now look at the E and ebony and pink, it is present in a single form, not homozygous form, so that means this will not be expressed. So this particular offspring will have the phenotype dicheat only. Now here E and P both are present in the homozygous form, so there will be ebony and pink. No D is present, so no dicheat, so ebony and pink will be the phenotype of this particular offspring. Then these offsprings with this particular genotype, what will be the phenotype? D is present, so that means dicheat definitely. And since E is present as a homozygous but P is not present in the homozygous in both the pairs, so that means only ebony will be expressed, right? So ebony, dicheat ebony only will be the phenotype of this particular. Now here since D is not present, so no dicheat. Even E is present only in a single one, but P is present in 2, so this will be the only pink will be the phenotype. Then again here, so D, so that means dicheat will be there, dicheat will be there. Then P and P, so pink will be there, no ebony, right? Again here the E and E, ebony will be present but no dicheat and pink. Now again here dicheat will be present, so dicheat, and here it will be E and P both are present, so that means ebony is also present, pink is also present. Here all the 3 mutations will be expressed, right? Now look at here, no D is there. Okay, all the wild forms. Then E and P are also present in the single, so that means no particular all these mutated phenotypes will be expressed. It will be wild type. All right, it will be wild type, no mutations occurs here. So these are the different offsprings which we are going to get, and this is the same offsprings genotype which is being mentioned in this particular table also, which they have asked it for the second part of this question. Now in the second part, which they have asked, what is the sequence and the interlocus distance between these three genes? Okay, so these are the three genes which we have talked about. All right, what are the three genes? D, E and P, right? So they have asked what is the distance between each of these genes and what is the sequence in which they are arranged, whether it is DEP or whether it is DPE or whether it is PED, how they are arranged. So that we have to first find it out with this particular data of the offsprings which they have given with the different phenotypes. So we know for the dicheet what could be the offsprings. I have just discussed for the dicheet what is the offspring is with this particular genotype. So it will be D plus plus slash plus EB. all right, this is what we have selected. So you can write it down all these genotypes over here. All right, so these are the particular genotypes what we have mentioned over here. Why it is required, I'm going to tell you now. In order to find the sequence in the gene order, I've told you in the previous video also what we have to do. We have to first look into the which is the maximum number of offsprings which is present in this particular data. So these are the two maximum number of offsprings. What are they? They will be your always parental type. So this will be P1 and P2. Just straightforward mark them. Okay, now look for the least one. We have looked for the maximum one. Now look for the least one. So these are the two least one, 2 and 3, right? So they will be your double crossover. These are the offspring which are being produced by the double crossover, because double crossover, I have told you, they are very rare occurring event. So that means number of offsprings will be formed by the double crossover will be very less, right? So these will be double crossover 1, double crossover 2, right? Right, now what about the rest of these 4 which is left? These are produced by your single crossover. So let's suppose single crossover 1, single crossover 2, single crossover 3 and single crossover 4, right? Now marked. Now what we have to do, we have to take the parental forms, okay, and we have to take the double crossover forms. So take the parental forms. The parental form genotype is this. We have to take the genotypes. All right, so parental form, I'm going to write P1, P2, right? So parental form genotype is D plus plus, okay, and what it is, plus EP, right? And again P2 form is what? P2 is plus EP, and this one is your plus EP again, right? And I'm going to take what? I'm going to take the double crossovers also. So double crossover 1 and double crossover 2 also I'm going to take. Now double crossover 1 will have a genotype, this one. These two are the double crossover 1 and 2. Okay, so I'm going to take D plus P, and over here down it will be plus EP, right? And in this one double crossover 2, it will be plus E plus, and this will be plus EP. Correct? This is done. Now what you have to do is you have to look into the parental and the double crossovers. Now just look carefully your parental form and your double crossover forms. Okay, so what you have to see is, you have to see that the two of the combination should come together, and the third one will have changed the position with respect to the parental one in case of a double crossover. See which one? See, this is the D plus is coming together. Okay, so see this D plus is coming together, and over down also plus E is coming together, right? But what about the plus and P? They are not, right? Similarly over in the next parent, plus E plus E plus E plus E is similar in the double crossover, plus E plus E, right? All same. But P is not the same, right? So that means whose position must have changed in the double crossover event when these double crossover genotypes have been formed from parental one? The P position. And whosoever position change, I have told you in double crossover how it does. If these are the three gene, let's suppose A, B and C, so in double crossover how it do is, it do like this is how the position of your gene will be changed. So final results what you get is that A, B and capital C, and here it will be small a capital B small c, means middle gene position will always be changed in the double crossover, right? So this combination will be formed A, B, C, and this combination will be formed A, B, C. So middle gene will be formed. Now here, since this P gene is changing the position with respect to the parental in the double crossover, so that means P is lying in the middle. So let's rewrite our this gene thing on the chromosome number 3. So we are going to place the P in the center, and we can write D and E on either ways. Either you can write E over here, D over here, that doesn't matter. But this will be your gene sequence, D, P, E, or it will be E, P, D. Anything it can be. Okay, but P will be always in the middle now. So now we found out the sequence of the gene, right? Now the next step is to find the distance between these genes. Now you have to find the distance between DP gene and then DPE gene. So first let's find out distance between DP gene. Okay, so to find the distance there is a formula. What is the formula? The formula is number of recombinants produced by recombination of DP genes divided by the total number of offsprings, okay, multiply by 100. So you have to first calculate the total number. All right, so what will be the total number will come? So we have total number of offspring is 1000. Okay, so we'll place the 1000 over down because total number of offspring we are going to place down, and number of recombinants with D and P gene change. Okay, so that you have to find it out here. So which all combinations of the offsprings have the different where the DP recombination take place, means where the DP recombinants are being produced. So we have to compare it with the parents first. It should not look like a parents. Okay, so like in the parents it is D and this one plus. Okay, D plus is there. So wherever D plus will be there, that will be your parental type only. But wherever there is a change in the DP pattern in the offspring, then it will be recombinant. So just look at here. So this will be D plus plus P, right? So look here, D plus plus P. So this is your parental, so that we are not going to take. This is again a parental. See this here also, this is a parental plus EP plus EP. So here see plus P is present. We are not considering the ebony E here, we are just checking the D and P. So this also we are not going to take. Then next one is DP plus P, D plus P. Yes, so we are going to take this one. This is our recombinant one. Then plus P plus P plus P. Yes, so this is again our recombinant one. Then again here just see D, P and plus P. Yes, this is again our recombinant form, and again here this will again be our recombinant form. So what are recombinant forms? 4 recombinant forms we have got. Just check the offsprings of them. So just write it down: 2 plus 3 plus 12 plus 16 plus 13, sorry. Okay, just add them, multiply by 100. So this will give you the distance between the D and okay, so this will give the distance between the D and P, and this will come to some 3 mu. Okay, 3 mu it will come. Always we measure the distance in terms of the mu unit, so it will comes to 3 mu. Now similarly you can calculate it for the distance between the P and E also. So we'll calculate now P and E distance. So check for the recombinations wherever the P and E recombination take place. So here you can see the P and E recombination take place. This one P and E recombination is taking place, right? It is different than the parental one. right? Similarly over here it is recombination take place between P and E, and also in these two double crossovers also P and E recombination take place, right? So we are going to take the all these offspring. So it will be 84 plus 96 plus 2 plus 3 divided by our total number of offspring, that is 1000, multiplied by 100. Now this will give you a result of some 18.5 mu. That means this P and E distance is quite far. So now you can finally map your genes like this. So it will be D will be somewhere here, then P will be somewhere here, and E is far away from P, right? So this distance is quite high, 18.5, and this is quite small, which is 3 mu. So that is how you have to draw the gene mapping, or you can say the sequence or the distance. You can just measure even the D and E distance. How you will measure what is the distance between D and E? Just add up these two distance, 18.5 plus 3, you will get the distance between D and E also. So this is the way to solve it, right? So this solves your query for the day. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please hit subscribe button and share it with all your friends. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.